late start, guys. Some personal issues and technical difficulties, so my apologies. But here we are with session 8 of our Blaze in the Dark campaign, uh, Cult of Tides. So, wow. After today, there'll be only 2 sessions left. Can you believe it? How far we've come. So, very impressive. So, before we get going here, let me, as usual, introduce my awesome players. Over here we have Steve.
Nope.
And then Cassie Mouse.
Hello, peoples.
And then we have Dr. Oculari.
Hello.
And then Neo Cree.
Hello.
Cool. So, I think last time we left off, we ended up, we got all the way through the normal stuff, all the way through till, what do you call it? Actual downtime activities. We did the payoff, we did the heat, we did entanglements, which made for some interesting options here. And then downtime activities was next on the list. Let's see here. Do you guys want to jump straight into that? Do some downtime activities real fast? Ish.
All right.
Cool. Cool. Anyone have anything in mind right away that they're looking to do?
Yeah, I have for both my activities.
Sure. What you got?
Training Resolve and training my playbook.
Okay. Simple ones today.
Hmm.
All right. Cool. Are you getting towards any playbook?
I've hit that fills my Resolve and my playbook.
Oh, nice. Well, good job.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, we'll get into what are you actually picking out of your playbook, out of curiosity?
I'm still thinking that I'm debating I'm thinking maybe Ghost Fighter, being able to fight the supernatural and hand to hand is pretty useful. Or I might do Closing of the Eye. The cultist ability lets you just take one to resist any supernatural harm.
Right, gotcha.
So still thinking about that. But I'll decide while everyone's doing their downtimes.
Cool. Alrighty. All right. Anyone else have anything that they've already kind of plotted out that they want to take care of?
I need to do stress relief.
All right. Why don't we do that? Let's see here. Alrighty. Looks like you're sitting at a full
Mostly
8.
full.
Mostly full. Cool. All right.
7.
What is it?
I think I'm at 7.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, you're correct. 7. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Do your thing.
What did we
Really, I did click it. There it goes.
All right, cool. Oh, nice roll. Cool. Now you're down to 2.
I will take 5.
Life is good. Did you have another quick one you want to do, or should I go round robin from here?
I'm thinking about it at the moment.
Okay, cool. Let's go then. How about Junker?
Yes. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do at the moment.
Okay. You want me to go to Fish and come back to you?
Sure.
All right, Fish. The process of elimination. You're the guy.
I'll do 2 training.
Ooh, okay.
And that means I can just tick a couple of things off, right? I don't have to roll anything.
Yeah. Like, what are you training, for example? Looks like you're about to make a potential playbook.
If I do that, I can do a playbook advancement.
Cool. All right, take it.
And since I'm not really that, I don't have enough of a grasp on this to deal with the subtleties of a lot of these, so I'm just going to pick Daredevil. Looks like it could come in handy at some point.
Okay, when you roll a desperate action, let's pop that up there. You roll a desperate action, you get +1d to your roll. Roll if you also take -1d to any resistance rolls to consequences from your action. Ooh, that sounds cool. Risk reward. High risk, high reward.
Mhm.
Nice. All right, cool. That's a good one for you regardless. So excellent. All right, that comes back to either Peacock or Junker.
Junker, you ready with one or?
Sure. I guess. I'll just train my prowess a couple times. She is just gonna set, just playing with explosives.
Good job.
And then for my second one, I was going to work on my ritual that I'm working on, the Tide Giveth, and taketh away.
Gotcha. Now, what did we already kind of figured out? So you're basically creating it. I see. Oh, that's right. That's right.
Correct.
So we're in
Yeah,
the.
we haven't detailed out what that one is going to be mechanically yet.
Gotcha.
But I think I have at least 2 actions before I can. So
Gotcha. Well, I know we figured a bunch of it out. So you need to
we figured
sacrifice
out
a
the
human.
drowned man.
Yeah, the drown man. That one. Oh, that's right. Then
I sacrifice human and ritual. As a ritual sacrifice.
Oh, that's right. Remind me
And
what the. Yeah, what was the giveth and taketh away part? I recall that.
It is going to be that basically a ritual that's prepared before a score, and at some point Shanasa will provide some bounty to us that will be helpful, but it will come at some cost.
Gotcha. All right, and that's
So
what we're doing now.
Determine that thing of what the actual benefit or actual downside is.
Yeah.
Hey, that's half the fun.
I think it should work in theory.
All
So,
rituals should work in
In order
theory.
to work on that, I use study.
Yep.
And
you're getting an assist from
Getting
either
an
the
assist from
adepts
the
or
adepts.
somebody.
just chipping.
Whoever the cruncher is, please mute. That's you, Doctor.
Oh, what?
Make sure to mute. We can hear your crunching.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
It was the bag more than you.
It was a bag. The bag is a culprit. All right, go ahead and
I forget how
yeah.
many ticks that is. I think it's 3.
I want to say 3. Let me just double check that, but I'm pretty sure you're correct.
Yes. 3.
3.
Yeah,
All
'cause I
right.
think it's 5 if you get a critical.
Right. Cool. All right, mark those. Did you want to spend a coin and finish her?
I don't. I'm gonna wait.
I really need to think of some other stuff to build with Artificer, but I haven't got any ideas yet.
Well, you got some pretty cool stuff already, so that's nice. I like what you have available to you. That's something to work with also. So kind of keep that in mind. Neat stuff. Cool. All right, cool. So, all right, so that brings us to. Okay, so we finished downtime. So now we have to figure out what you guys basically want to do with your time here. So again, as on Discord, like I mentioned, I know that we were talking about doing like the frame job, so that none of you has to go to jail to reduce your wanted level, because right now you're wanted 1 with a little change going on. So there's that. There is Peacock was interested in doing basically the Drown Man ritual in an effort to kind of bring in that spirit that he'd been kind of courting, if you will.
No.
Was that?
Correction. The drowned man ritual ultimately was to 1, make sure whoever we framed didn't talk, but also that was her price for her assistance. Is that the spirit wanted me to kill the person that killed her.
Right, gotcha. Oh, I see. Yeah, well,
So
like I
if
said,
that's
the whole
if
idea.
that's the end result, is that she
Gotcha.
is able to leave and then come here, then yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely, if you satisfy her need, I think that is definitely what's going to happen.
Okay.
One will lead to the other. So now it's just a matter of figuring out how do we want to get rid of this wanted level. I mean, the easy route is to basically ask somebody to go to jail, suck it up for a few months. Otherwise, again, I love your plan of you guys talking about doing the frame job on somebody. And that's not a euphemism for anything, by the way. I just want to put it out there. But we want to do that potentially, and then when nobody has to go to jail on your team, on your crew, and you lose that level and that lose a little wanted level, and you'll be at 0 heat also. Basically clears your heat as well. And then I know also was potentially, though it's like I know Fish has been kind of putting it off, which is his prerogative. But if Fish wanted to do the meeting with his long lost father, that's another thing that's potentially on the table if he wants to do that. So you guys, we're at the point basically where you guys tell me what you want to do. What's your plan, Dan? Oh, and you know what? While we're on that, before we get rolling, let me do the video real quick because I know I'm going to forget otherwise. Hold that thought. Think about it. Let's do. All right, and we're back. Cool. All right. So, yes, tell me what you guys are interested in doing.
Well, I think we were gonna go frame the guy that murdered the spirit, the other cultist woman, in the rival cult, weren't we?
The name that you got from the dirty blue coat, as if they're not all dirty.
Yes.
Gotcha. Excellent. So, let's see here. So, basically, is that going to be a job? Are we doing a score to do the frame setup from some of your stuff?
I think that's what we were gonna do. We were gonna frame him and get him arrested. And then when he got arrested, we were gonna do the ritual to like kill him before he talks. That was the plan, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So, let's start talking score then. So we have a name. We can do some gather information type of stuff, and then kind of go from there. And then we can figure out what kind of engagement we're doing. Pardon me, as usual. You guys are now well versed in the drill by this point, so good job on that. So yeah, let's figure out what we need to do. So we have a name, and I'm going to have to look up the name from the video unless somebody took a note. I'm a bad note taker. I'm a bad note taker.
Maximilian Corrigan.
Maximilian Corrigan. Excellent. Right. So you have the
The
name.
guy who, yeah, he was involved. Certainly.
Gotcha. He was one that did the hiring to have it done and that kind of goodness. Or is he the one that did the killing? He's the one that did the killing.
He did both because the dirty the dirty officer mentioned he came to him with literally blood on his hands when he paid him off.
Gotcha. Cool. Perfect. All right. So how we want to start off with some information gathering?
So is this the guy whose gun we have that we can use as gun?
No,
to frame
the
him?
gun is from the officer.
Oh, okay.
My original thought was maybe setting up the officer, but setting up this guy is actually a lot better.
Okay.
Or we could set them both up, one or the other.
I mean, we can still use the gun in the crime.
Yeah, but that's the I suppose that's the thing. It's like, do we want to use the gun as part to set them both up, or because we could for killing him, we could kill him with the gun and then set it up so that the captain killed him. Well, the officer killed him just out of disagreement or they due to just there being all criminals and evil. Or we could kill him with a ritual after he gets arrested, and have set up so that he was killed by the dark powers that he was consorting with.
Gotcha. There's also the option of like
Do both.
making them just do it on their own, stirring up enough suspicion between the two, that kind of thing. That's on the table. That's potential.
Well,
I'm
it
sure-
seems
I'm
like
sure
a
we can
proper cult
involve
thing to, use one of our dark rituals to finish it off. That makes
Yeah.
a lot of cult sense to me.
That's what I like
And
to
we all,
hear.
and that way we still have his gun, so we can still use it in the future if we need to.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, you guys want to start off with some gather information type stuff? And if so, what?
Let's see.
I mean, my usual is, hobnobbing with the locals to, find out info.
Just
I'm
to
open to a variety of
refresh you, sorry, what do we know about this guy at this point? We have a name. Do we know?
Location, I believe he lives in Charter Hall, I think it was mentioned.
White Crown, I believe.
White Crown,
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, pretty much you know that he's rich. He lives in the White Crown area, and that's really all you know. And he's capable of murder.
Yep.
Okay.
And he belongs to a cult.
And he belongs to a cult.
Okay.
Freaking cultist, man. You
Terrible
can't,
people.
Can't
you
trust
can't,
him.
Well,
yeah, you
freaking
can't trust
other
him.
cultists.
Yeah, you
No,
can't swing a dead
cultists-
rat without hitting a
cultists
cultist
are
these days.
Yeah, it's just
Alright.
despicable.
All right, so let's do this. Let's do a couple gather information, and once we have that, then we can formulate the engagement and all that kind of good stuff. Once that'll give you, I think, getting information will give you guys a better idea of what's the best next step to take. So, all right. So, do you want to go start with Peacock as usual? His hobnobbing with the.
I'm
White
open for
crowns?
other people to, take the lead in this.
But hearing none, we always have the fallback to
But
the
hearing
Peacock
none.
plan.
Correct.
All right. Anybody else? Bueller?
Well, I was
Bueller?
trying to think of anything else I could do besides hunt, but that's pretty much the only thing I can really do. That would be helpful.
I'm just trying to see if I can think of anything else to nudge you guys in any directions. I mean, they are cultists, so there's always like investigating the cult once you find it out, maybe.
Yeah, there's investigating cult. There's conceivably study if there's not all that many rich people that live in White Crown. It's not that big of an area. The name is bound to come up in some documents, somewhere.
So is this an upper class cult?
Well, he could be the patron.
True.
Or it could be an upper class cult, but at the very least, he has the money.
Yeah, some kind of
But,
Hellfire
our
Club thing.
patron
But...
pays us, so
Exactly. Oh. All right. So I hear the Peacock Clan. Do I hear any others? Do we want to try, like, once we find out information from that, do we want to look at doing like a study session type of thing? A study montage?
Did anybody get like better attuned? I feel like we could use a tune.
I mean, I have a decent attune.
I have a 1 attuned. I have just enough to not be incompetent.
I mean, that's actually an interesting idea. I mean, there's
attuning to the cult,
attuning to the
ghost field.
Yeah, well, attuning to specifically that
area, that section of the ghost field.
Well, I was thinking more of that specific entity, the one.
I've got 2 attune.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't know who killed her, but she may be familiar with the cult. That kind of thing. The spirit would maybe.
Oh, okay,
now
yeah.
she's more willing to talk.
Yeah, also I was thinking maybe go toward their bases and like try to check out the ghost field around it to see if there's anything weird.
Yeah, go check out the ghost field at White Crown to look for oddities.
Cool. All right.
Could also work.
So potentially a couple platoon type stuff, type role, type actions. All right. All right. So who
Well,
wants
let's
to?
all go in spirit.
No pun intended. Peacock's funny today. All right. Yes. So, who wants to kick us off? Let's go. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Well, how about I talk to Ava since she's my my buddy, my pal.
Do you want to have an assist from someone?
Yeah, because I know that it's potentially a dangerous area. How about I take Breaker with me, and then Fish and Junker can go, kind of scout out White Crown.
Yeah.
Looking for, signs of disturbance in the force.
That's
Nice.
basically what the ghost field is when you really think about it. It's just the force, but more defined.
More
spirits are less generous.
People can shoot lightning using the ghost field. They're basically Jedis. They just have more steps.
There's more steps. Alrighty. All right. Yeah. So Cutter's job will be basically to allow you safety and time to properly attune, basically.
Right.
Mm.
All right. Cool. Are you gonna go like at that same garden that you've been meeting her at?
Absolutely.
All right. Cool. All right. Let's see here. Again, so she has no reason to hold back from you. In fact, you're helping her, so this will be a fortune roll.
Okay.
You'll get the one extra from Breaker kind of watching your back. And then you said you're going attune, so we'll do that.
And
did you want to push yourself or anything?
I do, because I really want good info.
Okay. All right, go for it.
Yikes.
4? Okay, that's partial success.
I know. It's just not a very good roll.
So you get there, and again, the place is generally untouched. It's been upkept by someone. For all you know, it's like the kind of like the like what would it be called, like the block beautification group type of thing. You don't want it just like you don't want like a empty overgrown lot. You don't want a overgrown crappy garden in such a nice district. Brings property values down. And attracts scoundrels and cultists and shit like that. So don't want that. So yeah, so places upkept. You kind of have again. It's a quasi private space. You have basically the area where it's basically between two iron gates, and they're kind of locked off at any given time. It's not locked, but it's closed locked.
Sure.
So yeah, you guys have some time. Again, as is always, dark. It doesn't take long for you to kind of entice her to what's the word I'm looking for? Become visible. I just sneeze 1 second.
Manifest.
Thank you so much. Hold on. Okay, we're good. Okay. So yes, it doesn't take her long to manifest. And is this Breaker? Is this the first time you've actually seen her?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So yeah, what does she look like now? I'll say, like, when she was caught in her loop, she was kind of looking kind of downtrodden. Would you say, Peacock, that is she looking better, different, more vengeful? What's her mood, if you will, or what's her look, her manifestation?
I think her look is more serene at the moment. But her clothes have been, they're in repair, so to speak. They're like in their original form, as opposed to after her attack.
Oh, gotcha. So you don't see like the wound anymore.
Right.
Gotcha. Yeah. So when you broke her out of her repeat, that's definitely likely. Yeah. So this is just a fortune roll. So I'll give you two major questions to ask her. She's actually happy to see you. You are buds at this point, as much as a ghost can be buds with someone. She's like again, you're on the road to taking care of the angst that she holds in her soul, if you will, what's left of it. So you are her bud.
Like, Mr. Zeba, we have found the name of the person that killed you.
She
His
kind
name
of
is
turns without moving, like the limbs don't move like
right.
a person would need to. She just suddenly pivots, and she's like basically like an inch or two away from your nose. You can actually feel the little hairs on your nose and whatnot prick up to the electroplasm going on. Speak.
It was Maximilian Corrigan.
Corrigan. Mm.
Tell me what you know of him and his cult.
She shakes her head. Had nothing to do with the cult. Yes, he was in the cult of Odan. True. The reason I wouldn't let him marry my daughter. She's too fair to be mixed up with something like that. Precipitous scum. And she kind of looks at Breaker over Peacock's shoulder, and she like scowls, like as if to punctuate her statement.
Mike, that is one of my companions, Breaker.
And
between us, we will see that this man pays.
Yeah, she kind of reaches out towards Breaker, towards his chest, and she motions.
She motions.
Yeah, she motions like this at your shirt.
Oh. He displays the mark.
She kind of reels back in kind of like a more relaxed pose now. She's amongst friends. And especially given what her number one bud just told her. She's like, I can't believe. I do believe. What am I saying? The filth. The filth gets everything he has coming to him. Make sure it's bad.
How is he weak? How can we get to him?
One of the many reasons that I didn't want him marrying my daughter, and in addition to just being a Odan cultist, and she kind of, again, she scowls like shit, like there's this bad taste in her mouth. You haven't even heard of it. Again, there's so many freaking little old forgotten gods all over the place. This one is just lost in the minutia of the whole thing. He's like, he has a wandering eye and a wandering hand. Men, women, all the pleasures of the flesh. All of them. She's like, he's soiled himself beyond repair at this point. Not to mention my murder.
Like, we will see that he pays.
Gotcha.
We will see that Shanas is pleased with the payment.
Have you heard of the ritual of the drowned man?
I just smile. I'm like, how else do you think will make him pay?
Good. And she smiles, and then again for just an instant, she kind of gets that ghastly look, like, you know, like she become again that kind of like the gristly teeth and everything for just a second as like her anger kind of shows through, if you will. But yeah, and she sticks around just long enough to kind of survey you two, and then fades away into the ghost field again.
Excellent.
All right. So we have Fish and Junker are also looking to do some attunement. It sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me what's your plan? What's your scheme here?
We're trying to initially find something that gets him arrested, right?
Yeah, frame him for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to get him arrested and include like some of your crimes in his crimes, that type of thing. You have a wanted level that you have to get rid of. So to get rid of that, either somebody has to go to jail, or you have to convince someone. You have to convince the authorities that you weren't the ones who did it. Basically.
Oh, okay. So basically, we want to find out something about his behavior that we tie to something we've done.
Well,
Or
I mean, if
or
he's
some kind of evidence planted, that kind of thing.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if he's a member of a cult, we could probably tie in his cultist activities. I'm sure he's probably made some kind of done some kind of crimes as part of it.
Sure.
By reference of that, we could probably tie it into. Wouldn't be too hard to maybe do some modifications or implications of our own cultist activities.
Right. Well, I'm thinking, he's in White Crown, which is the upper class, and the upper class always have servants to actually do everything. And somewhere, probably near that bridge, there's a place where servants can hang out and complain to each other about the people they're serving. And it might be interesting to slip in there and see if we hear anything about this guy.
Okay, so you guys
Yeah.
are not so much in a tune at this point. You guys are looking for a different angle.
So that'd be like a consort.
Potentially, sounds like that. Maybe.
I don't have any consort dots though. Well, what about survey? I do have 2 survey dots. Survey a location or situation to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean that's potentially, if you want to take it from that angle. I would say it'd be like
Like
it'd
you,
be
like you're just
yeah, go ahead.
like I'd imagine you'd be like eavesdropping on the servants or something.
Yeah, which seems, at least for for Frisch, that's going to be Fish's speed, is sneaking around relatively unseen rather than
Interacting with
engaging in
anyone or
conversation. Yeah.
I see. Gotcha. So okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So if you wanna be part of that, Junker, we can add you in as like an assist. You can be like the distraction
Yeah.
or the easy mark that the bad guys are watching, that are now not watching him, that kind of thing, or them rather.
Yeah. I could just have her like dress up like a servant and actually just talk with
Cool.
some people.
All right, so yeah,
You could
both angles.
instigate conversations, and I could be observing either those conversations or what other people are saying who have, whatever conversation you start will tend to filter out to other people who have overheard it, who may say something also.
Sure. All right, that sounds reasonable. So yeah, go ahead and roll your survey. You'll get one bonus die, thanks to Junker's
Okay.
help, and it's just a fortune roll. So fortune only.
All right, now I'm confused again. So I click fortune roll, right?
You can click on survey, and I think there's an option to make it a fortune only roll,
Okay. Survey.
and
Oh,
then
fortune roll. I got it. Okay.
and then plus one
And,
bonus die.
and it's standard effect.
This is just a fortune roll, so the successes will tell us how well or how badly it goes,
Okay.
or how
One
much
bonus
information.
die. All right.
All right, 6. All right.
Ooh.
All right, between the two of you, I'll give you 3 questions for the 6. What do you guys want to know? What are you guys hoping to find out?
Well, Junker, you would be the one who'd be actually asking questions, and I am listening. I'm looking and listening to the responses literally and to the actions of people who have listened in on the conversation. So I would say you get the 3 questions.
Cool. Go for it.
Let's see.
No pressure now, Junker.
Okay, if I heard the information that I'm completely blanking. Well, our other people got. It seems like he probably has some servants that he abused. So I'm trying to find some like servants that he abused that would be able to like give us information on him.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, so what's the question that you're asking basically? What's the name of a servant who he has treated badly? Is that the question you're asking?
Yes.
Let's say it's older woman named Simone. Simone. She is basically like a housemaid, cleans things up, dishes, all that kind of good stuff. Scrubbing floors. She works a very hard day, and she's, her age is showing it. But yeah, you're able to find Simone, and she again kind of reports to you how yeah, he basically they're underpaid, overworked, the usual. He sees a lot of ladies and gentlemen of the evening coming in and out, and she finds that a little disturbing. She's somewhat of a Puritan in the Duskvol side of things here. But yeah, that answers that question. You get 2 more.
Do you have anything you want to ask Fish?
I'm just thinking that it sounds like we want to try and find out if there's something to do, if there's any sort of a cult feel to what he's doing. Would it be almost a question? It's kind of does this have to be a literal question to somebody? I'm kind of thinking
It has to be a question you want answered. So
okay, what Fish wants to know, having heard this, is what kind of associated gossip is sort of shuffling through this room based on people who've overheard that conversation. Is that
yeah, sure. I mean, a little bit, but basically the answer I'll answer the question whether or not it's one you want.
Okay.
But basically the answer that I will give to that question is as other servants and whatnot overhear Simone kind of pipe up about this, Of course, you have several other. Oh yeah. I work over here, and yeah, I've seen the women and men leave and come and go. A little more coin in their pocket as they go. Jingling all the way, that kind of thing. So again, basically you get reinforcement of this.
Okay.
Okay, a question I would like to ask is there any like specific person that he hires a lot that is like a favored escort?
Mm.
Oh, good question. Yeah. So I mean, again, there's a lot of scuttlebutting going on about this. I would say, let's see here. The escort in particular that kind of is a familiar face, almost to the point. Again, if there was like a Subway sandwich card, this person would have a free sub right now, and that his name is Damian Tanner. He's kind of like kind of a high class escort. Walks with the nice walking cane, the little too tight, clothing to kind of advertise the goods, that kind of thing. But a gentleman's gentleman, if you will.
All right.
All right. All right. So you've asked all your questions. You used both. You have both your gather information things. So now we got to look at how we're gonna do this. What's our engagement? So let's see here. All right. So the question is, okay, so what do we want to accomplish here? We want to basically frame this guy for some of your bad doings to get him to go to jail on your behalf, basically. And that's the crux of the job. After that, then there comes the ritual, but that's kind of like a separate thing. So let's see here.
Jaws.
Right. So, what are we looking at? In order to accomplish that, what are we going to do? There's, of course, again, the assault, do violence to target, deception, lure, trick, or manipulate, stealth, trespass unseen, occult, engage a supernatural power, social, negotiate, bargain, or persuade, or transport. Again, one of my most favorites of all, but I can't see it in this one. But carry cargo people through danger. So, what are we thinking, peoples?
Well, if we want to involve his cult, I'm wondering if somehow, and then I'm just throwing out this vaguely and hoping either we reject it or somebody else can start to fill in detail. We had that semi-successful foray out beyond into the Deadlands, where we happened to bring, was it a ghost or a spirit, a fairly evil one, back in with us? And is there some way we can tie this guy in with that if the spirit has been sort of causing trouble, and get the spirit's actions blamed on him?
Don't think we know we let him in.
You
Do
do.
we?
You
Okay.
do, but you don't know his identity or necessarily
Right,
anything
or
quite
what
like
he's
that.
done.
That would have required some other kind of information gathering to go that direction, I think.
Okay.
What I was currently thinking is
And
maybe
as
we
as a note, if we just don't have some information, we can do flashbacks. That is on the table. I know we haven't done a whole lot of those, but that is something that can be done. Just costs you stress, basically, and potential rolls.
Can we just make up a whole thing that we've got a wanted level for in a flashback?
Well, I mean, it's a culmination of all the stuff you guys have done.
Okay.
So the question is there a crime there that could be implicated on him that would kind of bring the rest of the stuff with it. Like, oh, the blue coats are looking over their notes and they're like, oh yeah, this would, as a there's, I don't think it applies here, but as an example, like, oh, so like, this weapon was definitely used in this one crime here, and this guy has it. So we were thinking that this crew did it, and now this guy has it, and it's obviously his, and he's obviously had it. So now maybe we need to change our sights here. Maybe we're looking at the wrong people. That type of thing. So that's the general idea of what you're trying to do here.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe
If your goal is to frame him.
Maybe if we could flip his escort friend and get them to testify against him.
That's assuming he's aware of any crime. Unless we, pay that individual enough to give false testimony.
Or in some way make him believe it's a greater idea to do that.
Right.
Or in his own best interest, that kind of thing.
I mean, we could certainly... Maybe we could try and frame him for, our rage dust incident. 'Cause I know that one was a little bit messy. I'm looking at, our past, escapades and like, okay, what could we use from those escapades to pin, a crime on someone? Like, I don't think there's really any, good evidence from, a chase scene, that we did. So I'm looking for things that make sense fictionally for us to, frame him for.
Oh, sure.
I mean, we can get him just arrested. That's not
easy.
a problem, but it's a matter of getting him arrested for something we did.
Exactly. And that's my understanding, at least, is that is the goal of this whole thing, is to get rid of your wanted level and take care of the other problem on the one fell swoop type of
Yeah,
thing.
because otherwise we could commit a crime and frame him for it. That's not hard.
That's Tuesday night.
Right.
Can we? Well, I'm thinking of that of the crazy goat cart chase, and that was to acquire,
Artifact.
Part of our. Oh man, I can't think of what it's called. A chunk of our effigy. But could we? But nobody really specifically knows what that looks like, except for us, maybe. I mean, can we use a fake version of that effigy and like have this washerwoman plant it in his room or something, and use that to blame him for the fiasco of the goat cart chase?
My thought is to set him up as implicated in the rage dust incident, because as long as we get, because it's a combination of our crimes, but as long as if we can get some of our crimes, if he can take the fall for one of the major ones, then that should be enough to remove our wanted level, because that casts doubt that we were actually the ones behind everything.
It seems like what I was thinking about is if we could get his like escort friend and basically tell him, like, accuse him of doing this.
My thought was more fabricate evidence. Maybe have the escort friend accuse him and then have some fabricated evidence, so when they investigate, they find that. I think it's going to take more than just one random person accusing him to get the blue coats to go after a rich dude in a city like this.
Right. Or as another thought is, to include Fish's idea in this and make it, get a duplicate of this of the artifact made. I mean, if it came on a ship and it was being shipped here, someone has a record of it, a drawing or something, and someone has insured it, so someone's looking to get it back. If you can, if it can be like the artifact, that would kind of maybe help that, and then kind of even combine that into like the the rage dust incident, or that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
fabricate evidence of both of those and tie it to him. And then and those were the two really like loudest things recently that we've gotten into.
I like your recently caveat.
Yeah. Well, the other ones the other ones we hushed up through strong words to the witnesses.
There's that.
So I'd say if we could frame them for those, if we could fabricating the artifact and fabricating a connection to the rage dust, I'd say that would both be that would be enough to get them.
Okay.
I'm feeling that would be like either a deception or a stealth. I almost feel it's like a two-part plan. It's like a stealth to drop off the materials at his home or at the location of his cult, somewhere where he's connected to, and then a deception to bring in the blue coats, to convince the blue coats that he is someone that needs to be looked into.
Gotcha. All right. So let's see. What do you guys think? Thoughts? That's definitely an option.
I think it's mostly deception because we are really trying to lure someone somewhere, in order to trick them. And essentially we're luring the blue coats to his place. To
Cool.
trick them with, the evidence that we're going to plant as part of that,
Right.
Yeah.
And again, we can do flashbacks as like the fabrication if you guys wanted.
Yeah,
that
I think
kind of
that's
thing.
likely what we'll need. And
I
think
guess we
that's-
could handle slipping the items in, having them fabricated and slipped in. I guess that could be done with this series of flashbacks.
Yeah, we
and
could
I think
maybe.
that's where Junker would come in terms of making it.
Yeah, she could make it. Also, we could maybe try to get the servants to help us slip some stuff in.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be a good option too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pull the old, yeah, Damien couldn't make it today, but my name's Fish.
Yeah, we could probably handle the planting of the items in flashbacks along with their creation, and we could we just have to focus on the deception.
Okay. That's okay. So that's kind of sounds like all of your plans together. So I like that. So let's look at what we're doing here. So we're looking at deception, lure, trick, or manipulate. So what are we trying to lure? Who and how are we trying to lure, trick, or manipulate?
We are trying to lure the blue coats to his house to arrest him.
Gotcha.
Lure him into his house to investigate. We're trying to trick them into investigating his house, searching his premises, and then finding the evidence of these recent well-known crimes, and then arresting him on based off of that evidence. And then he dies while in custody.
Unfortunately.
Yes, sadly,
Untimely.
he was the evil forces he was connected to were not happy with him.
Gotcha. All right. So I see. Yeah. Okay. I see a whole bunch of things going on here. That's cool. So, what it boils down to is we're going to have an engagement scene, and we need a method of deception and where that scene's going to be actually. So, like, is this like, or is someone like, what's the best way to phrase it? Is like one of you going to be like leading the blue coats in there somehow, or like, where does this deception start?
I think that's probably best for Peacock to lead them, because he's going to be the one who's most likely to lie effectively or make up something on the spot and make it believable.
I can order and intimidate, but I'm not too good at manipulating and tricking.
Gotcha.
And then I might have flashbacks as well in order to kind of assist, but I think it's really like me bringing them to the house and saying this is the den of vile villainy that's been plaguing the city.
Gotcha. And then I could see a bunch of flashbacks happening, giving everyone a little bit of chance at some spotlight. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah. So I definitely see some spotlight opportunities coming on with that. So that's cool. So let's see here.
I'm guessing the engagement kind of determines how pliable they are at the time, when we're starting out.
Sure. Yeah, so how believable your whole grift is, basically. All right. So
And
let's.
of course, and then he'll be probably interceding to say like, "What are you talking about? This is all BS." He'll be trying to make sure that they don't investigate his house. The other guy, the rich dude.
Gotcha.
I can see. I can see that the con to use against the police would be to say, look, this guy's got this thing, but he's a rich guy. You're never going to be able to hold him for long, but you can arrest him, throw him in the clink, and he's going to offer to pay you off if you let him out. But
Oh,
you
I
got
like
to throw him in the clink first.
Oh,
I
that's
like
funny. That's awesome.
Gods. I'm trying to remember, and because it's like, since he's also a cultist connection, I wonder if there's an actual specific. I don't know if we might be better off trying to go for the spirit wardens.
I can't see that being a great help.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
they did show up for the ghost for some reason, right? I mean, she was killed in a public area.
Right.
It was at night, but it was still a public area, and the spirit wardens never claimed her.
Now, as a note, we can do that, but the repercussion from this might be that they
she
kill
might be claimed.
Yeah, they claim and destroy Eva.
Well, I mean, yeah, revealing her existence definitely not. There's also the fact that dealing with this, getting the spirit warden, trying to con the spirit wardens is going to be a lot more difficult than trying to con the blue coats. Spirit wardens are slightly tougher.
But they don't care about his crime so much as they really don't arrest people. They destroy ghosts.
Yeah,
they don't take anybody in
I think
chains.
they're occultist, also like occultist and supernatural hunters. I think on top of ghost killers, but because supernatural and occultists tend to cause issues with ghosts and whatnot.
No, they don't.
Never. That's impossible.
So do we want to roll engagement before or after if we're breaking?
Let's see. We did start 15 minutes late. Do you guys want to just do the break right now? We're doing a wait. 15.
Well, I do want to take a break around 8:30 to take my meds and stuff. So.
Okay. Well, why don't we do the break now, like Steve said?
Okay.
And we'll do the engagement when we get back. And again, I just kind of want to solidify what you guys want, just so we can, again, kind of firm things up here. So why don't you take your break, everybody? See you in 10, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Cool. All right, and we're back. All right, so let's see. So last we left our intrepid adventurers, we were talking about basically conning the bluecoats into doing an investigation of Maximilian Smythe, and basically getting him framed with some things that you guys have done, possibly some other stuff, etc., and culminating in hopefully his arrest, and then soon thereafter, untimely death. Or at least that's the plan.
I thought something that we might be able to do that could make it simpler is, what if we could just take somebody close to him hostage and say go confess, or we'll do some bad things to this hostage.
Yeah, he does. From the description the ghost gave us, doesn't seem like a particularly sentimental type of guy. Don't think appealing to his sense of morality or caring about others is a particularly is a tactic he is weak against. He might even, dare say, be strong against that tactic. I'd say finding evidence of his guilt and then leading them to it. And then, like, I'd say that the big thing would be leading him to evidence of his guilt and just adding to that evidence rather than like slipping our own fabricated evidence to the already existing evidence. Might be the best idea.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
Because that way it would just be like, look at all this stuff he's done. He's also done these things over here. But it won't really stand out because it'll just be yet another line item on the list of things that they're bringing him in on.
Gotcha. All right, so let's do this. Let's do an engagement roll. And basically, a lot of, like I said, this is an interesting session in that a bunch of the stuff you'll want to do will end up coming from flashbacks. So just be ready to do that, and we'll kind of see where we go from there. But if you guys are cool, let's set up the engagement and do an engagement roll and kind of go from there. All right. And we're doing the deception and then the basically getting the blue coats to like directly start, go to investigate his place, basically. All right, so let's do the usual. Let's see. So engagement roll, 1 die just for luck. Let's see. Is this particularly bold or daring? I'm willing to hear arguments for that one.
I would say so.
All right.
We're definitely exposing ourselves to the blue coats.
True, exactly.
We are a group of criminals who are making the case that we are upstanding, concerned citizens exposing corruption, while at the same time planting our own corruption on the same guy we're trying to expose.
All right, that is an excellent argument for boldness. Let's see. So good. Is it overly complex? No, in the sense that all the the complex shit's going to be handled if you do anything by flashback type stuff. Does the deep plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hurt them when they're weakest? I don't think so. Only because you guys aren't kind of with this engagement, you aren't like hitting him at his weakest point, which is like the prostitutes and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Is he strongest? No, I'm gonna say no. Can any of your friends or contacts provide insight for this operation? Oh, somebody has like an artificer or something like that as a friend, right?
Yeah.
Like a artifact merchant, or I forget who has the contact, but one of you guys has.
The group has an antiquarian.
Antiquarian. There you go. Yeah. That's potentially
Hutchins.
All right, I'll give you one for that. Let's see. Enemies or rivals? No. So you are basically facing off against the blue coats. So I'm going to take 1 die away from that, leaving you with 2. Basically, you are kind of engaging them while they're doing their quote unquote job. So, and they are a higher tier gang than you guys.
We are engaging the faction as a whole in this one.
Kind of, sort of.
Trick them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say, unless you guys have any other arguments for more or less die, you guys have 2 presently.
Okay.
Seems fair.
Let's do it.
All right. Who hasn't done an engagement roll in a while?
I think I did the last one.
I'll do this one.
Okay, go for it.
Let's...
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure at all. It's just, line to the blue coats to their face.
Yeah.
Probably in their own precinct. It's not a big deal.
Zero pressure right here. Oh, there's a roll fortune. Okay. Actually, yep, there it is. Roll engagement. 2. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
All right. So this puts you in a controlled engagement stance. So, I'm gonna say that. So yeah. So you guys like en masse. It's like the craziest shit you guys have ever pulled. Like, you show up in mass like at one of the precincts out of White Crown, and there's like, as you guys are kind of walk in, like you see all these bewildered looks from behind these counters. Again, they're like, if you can imagine, there's like the big wooden, huge, heavily wooded like desktops with like the spindles, spindle bars to kind of separate out the areas between you and them, with like actual windows in the spindles to interact with people as they come in. And you see like one guy is like, he was like pouring himself some coffee from this carafe, and as he sees you guys come in, he just drops it, and the place goes silent, as if you'd gone into the bar where you don't belong in, like one of those scenes. And you've walked in. I'll say likely Peacock would be the one to kind of state your case.
Sure.
I think the most reasonable. And the desk captain, basically the guy that's in charge of this shift behind the counter, as you kind of bring this up, slams a fist into the big desk, stands up. That son of a bitch! I've had my finger on him for months, and now you give me the breakthrough I needed? Oh, yeah, we're going right now.
And we're there doing business and the foul things that we found. Just in plain sight.
And he's like, we'll talk and walk. And he brings like, he basically motions, with a few motions, you have like about 10 like more than normally armed bluecoats walking with you in like military fashion. You have a column of bluecoats going to his place, which isn't all that far away, which only you would imagine adds insult to injury. So along the way, you guys, as a good as a good grifter does, Peacock, kind of keeps feeding the fire, at a wise rate, I'm assuming.
Illicit narcotics, and as they're trying to help him pick out an outfit for an upcoming event he was going to, and there's this false idol in the corner, and like, because correct me if I'm wrong, isn't the like state religion veneration of the
Church of Ecstasy, or
wasn't there worship of I don't know, imperial something or other?
I think the Church of Ecstasy might be the imperial religion.
I think there definitely is like a crackdown, like occult activities, things like that. It's definitely not something people like too much, because it tends to lead into supernatural problems.
Gotcha. So yeah,
he's false idol, and it's illicit drugs everywhere, and
he's just like scowling.
Stand and bring down the name of White Crown and its fine district,
and its fine officers,
of course.
Also, what was our load?
Oh, sorry. What do you guys want to do for load? I would assume unless.
Light. I'm going light.
Yeah, everyone pretty much has to go light unless you want to.
Yeah, unless we want them to think we are scoundrels for some reason.
Yes, and you can, but that will be taken into account should that become a factor. So is everybody going light, or do you want to risk standard?
I'm going light.
I too am going light.
I know Junker's reflex is like freaking heavy or something, but this is not that time. So yeah, and it's just crazy. You see all these people gawking as you guys are walking. It's like, wait, these are freaking scoundrels. They're being led. They're like obviously like deputized or something, going up to arrest someone. What is. It's like,
hey, we are running light. We could be a concerned citizen.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. That's the point of going light,
right? Hey, we can blend into polite society. We're just people. If we were normal, sure.
Well, to be fair, we have lifestyle zeros. We're basically wearing like really like slum clothing and stuff, so we don't blend in very well.
There's that.
Oh, Peacock lent us some fancy clothes. It's just that they don't really fit that well.
Yeah, I think that's the given.
Sure. Cool. So yeah, you guys find yourself at I won't call it an estate because an estate implies like a large amount of land. If you can imagine, this is like if you can imagine like, you know, the square footage what it costs in like Manhattan, you know, to have a place. This is kind of the same. You have like what the equivalent of like you know, very luxurious brownstone type things where it's narrower than you would expect normal house to be. But it goes farther back and there's like 3 or 4 levels to it. So this is rich, but it's not like the most opulent ever. But this guy is obviously, you know, he'd buy you people, no problem. Literally buy you. But yeah, so you guys get up to like the gate, like that leads up to the walkway that then goes into this house, and they basically the captain tries the lock or the mechanism and it won't open, and he just gestures to one of his guys, and they basically use some rifle butts to break it in. And by the time you guys get to the door opens and there's already like a servant or two, you know, wringing their hands at the door. Can we help you? And the blue coat pipes up. We are here to see your master of the moment. And yeah, and the captain basically says, "You'll let us in now." And next thing you know, you guys are being welcomed in as gracefully as can be by servants under such an occasion. And the maid like scurries up the stairs to fetch her master. And this is a pretty opulent place. Again, you guys dream of living like this someday. If you guys just, you know, put away all your money and everything, you maybe could have something this grand, maybe, but probably not. Unless you kind of kept your, you know, the gang growing, you know, the crew growing and accumulating specifically wealth, etc. Just to give you an idea of that. So very nice stuff. You even smell, you know, like foods that the higher classes would use, you know, that kind of thing. It's not as much eel and fungus and stuff and rat. It's actual, you know, more recognizable foods, that kind of thing. Not that rat isn't like, you know, a staple that everyone eats.
Mhm.
It's what's for dinner.
These are fancy lab grown rats.
Yes.
It's all how you spice it.
It's the other
Well,
white
if he's
meat.
rich, like he would
Yeah.
actually could be eating like actual animals if he's rich enough.
Yeah. So you guys you can get the smell of that.
Ducks. And...
But yeah, it doesn't take too long before he's down there. So this is basically where he sees all of you guys, and he of course doesn't recognize a single damn one of you. And he's like, "What is the meaning of this, Captain? This is outrageous. What are you doing
That's
here?"
the foul scoundrel.
Foul scoundrel! I'll be damned if I'll have a little ruffian such as yourself call me a scoundrel, sir.
I may be many things, but no one's ever accused me of being little.
Oh, you can see he's just visibly shaking with his rage. It's barely contained at this point.
I bet you if you search his study, you'll find all the things that I've seen.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. So the blue coat's like, I don't suppose you'd mind if we had a look in your study, would you? And he's, go right ahead. You'll find nothing. And this is where somebody will want to do a flashback. Cue flashback.
And now,
We need to manufacture an idol and get a bunch of rage dust there.
All right. Who's doing what?
Well, I can manufacture an idol.
Oh, cool. All right.
Would this count as like a downtime action?
No, I mean, it could be considered downtime action. For purposes of this, it's just a flashback. So it'll cost you stress and a roll. We'll see how the roll goes.
Okay, how much stress?
Let's see. So you're actually going to make an idol. Let me just look it up. I think it's going to be in the neighborhood of 1 or 2 at the very most. Let's see here. One. Here you go. All right, flashbacks. So okay, so let's see. So a complex action or unlikely opportunity. Involves special opportunities or contingencies. I'll say 1. So basically, this is a 1 stress flashback. Complex action or unlikely opportunity. So this is complex in that you're fabricating an idol, basically, or part of one. So why don't you
Alright.
roll for that? What are you thinking?
Alright, that's fine.
I'm assuming you're. What action are you planning to use for this?
Tinker.
Okay.
Flashback. Oh, if a flashback involves a downtime activity, pay 1 coin or rep for it instead of stress. So I guess it could be a downtime activity.
I'm just gonna take stress for this.
Okay.
I'm good with it. And this is more, again, she's crafting, so I'm not sure this would even this isn't really even obtaining an item. So I'm not too concerned.
That's fair.
So what is the position?
Let's go with, again, these are not experts that are going to be looking this over at the moment. You know, and at the moment is all that we really care about. So let's call this let's call it controlled standard.
Okay, is anybody able to assist me with building the idol?
I don't know what's involved. I mean, I was thinking all you need is to find an oddly shaped stone and chisel a smiley face on it and call it a deity.
So
I mean, Hutchison's is helping us. Could he assisted helping me build the idol beforehand?
Sure. And like I said, if you do want to take advantage of like the angle that somebody has this insured and wants it back or doesn't want to pay the insurance, we have to make it look like whatever it was documented as being.
Well, and I think Hutchins would be a good person because, not saying he's dealt with forgeries before.
No.
He might.
How freaking dare you?
How could you? Forgeries. That's awful.
That is awful. That is horrible.
Okay.
Artifacts of unknown origin? Maybe once or twice.
Cool.
Okay,
All right, yeah.
I'll
So
go ahead and
that's quite
push
reasonable.
myself too.
Okay.
5.
All right. So the 5 will get you, basically it'll hold up under general circumstances. We can move this along. It's not going to require a whole lot more, but it's definitely not going to hold up to expert scrutiny. If you actually get like an artificer that isn't Hutchins, which is another idea, it's gonna show up as like a forgery. But under these non-expert eyes, it'll do for now. So, yeah. So what else are we looking to plant there? Rage dust or something, we said?
Rage dust.
Rage dust, maybe because I remember we had like a modified grenade, so maybe like bits and pieces of that or that item, or even like a schematic for it.
Gotcha. What do you guys?
Yeah, you could just put some like vials of rage essence in there. It'd probably be okay.
If
yeah, I have bad memories of dealing with rage dust, so
yeah. So now
Junker assisted providing those documents of sort of like the plans to make such a weapon,
or
kind of like that.
Or if
Yeah, it's like a grenade that's been modified specifically to aerosolize rage dust.
gotcha.
Mm.
Or just a large supply of rage dust, which
Yeah,
case
with a sample of the rage dust, right?
if Breaker could do a roll to acquire, normally it's part of his load. So if he wants to blow his whole load on rage dust, that would I would say that a flashback would cover that, and the rage dust itself would be there. So if you're willing to spend 3 load, I'll have a large enough stock of that where it's even just possessing that much is freaking suspect, and it's probably legal anyway. Not to mention that, yeah, it probably matches up with the rage dust found elsewhere on this thing.
Yeah, because it's coming from, since I was the one who sourced the original amount, so it had the same source, so it would have the same
Composition or
makeup,
whatever.
composition, everything. They could that would actually help a lot. Sure, I'll be the source for that.
Okay.
I imagine rage agents is probably illegal anyway.
It's probably legal anyway, but illegal schmillegal. So yeah, let's do a quick role play with Breaker. I won't have you roll anything. This is you're using your load, so that's the cost here. But yeah, you'll be talking to the guy you usually get it from. What's his name?
Oh, that's. I wonder if a physiker could get their hands on rage essence.
Or make it.
Maybe shoot Sawtooth.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Sawtooth is kind of doing their thing, and it's is Sawtooth he or she?
She's the physiker. She's my go-to.
Right,
She's been the go-to physiker.
Yes. So you catch her in the middle of creating something else. Probably putting something else together for some other client, and you pop in and you're like, I need a half a kilo of rage dust. And she's like, what? That's a lot even for someone like you.
It's for a special project. Similar to last time I needed a large amount.
Well, that was kind of all in the news. Even did you see the paper? Jesus, it's not Jesus. They don't have a Jesus. But yeah, she kind of makes some exclamation of like like it's just a waste. It's a waste of good product. You think I just churn this out for my health? Yes, I do actually. I get paid for this. It's like, I'll give it to you, but you probably don't want to use any of my product in the near future if you're going to keep leaving this as evidence somewhere. Generally I make this just for personal use, if you know what I mean. You're kind of like the weird exception to this. You don't need rage dust. You're always angry. That's your secret.
I understand. That seems fair.
Cool.
I know I'm taking up I know this is far more than the normal where our understanding allows. I'll be reducing that amount for a while to make up for it.
Damn right you will. And she kind of measures out several large vials of the stuff and packs it in like a box, a padded box type of thing with cloth or cotton, literally raw cotton, between the vials and stuff, and puts a cap on it and hands it to you. And that'll cost you, I'll say 0 stress, because this is nothing special really. This is a 0 stress, an ordinary action for which you had easy opportunity. It's your friend. This is where you get your rage dust. It's in your load. 0 stress. Excellent. So you have your rage dust. Now comes the interesting flashback, Fish.
The stationing.
The stationing.
Or there's another option.
Yeah.
Or Breaker could do a flashback to intimidate to intimidate one of the a servant to plant it.
Gotcha.
Well, don't we have, who was it, the washerwoman that Junker talked to, who probably has a grudge against him? And
Oh, right,
I
right.
assume she's from his house.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it seems to me like
Okay.
she would be a good agent or a possible agent to plant the evidence.
Gotcha. All right. So, let's do this way. I want to see if we can
I was
get.
gonna say, do you want? I need to convince her to do that, or
Well,
That
I
if
don't think Fish has really had any spotlight. I was hoping to get Fish involved
okay,
in here
yeah.
somehow, and we still
I
want to
mean,
get
that's
Junker a
always
little
a
bit too.
backup.
Fish, did you want to like do you want to do a? Well, I'll leave in your card. Do you want to leave like a? Do you want to like stealth it in? Do you want to kind of stealth it in with using the washwoman as your cover? Do you want to convince her to do it for you? What action do you want to do? Let's not to put you on the spot, but I want to make sure you get some time here.
Sure. Well, like I said, Fish is kind of wary of Rage Dust from the last incident. Doesn't want to get too involved with it. But I could see the washerwoman is probably, her skill is not planting, it's not convincingly planting evidence. So I could see Fish essentially going along and coaching her through it.
Okay. All right. So what action do you want to do to
Or
do
if
this?
or actually probably more like, yes, that she lets Fish in.
Okay, so it's a more of a prowl,
And
but she's your inside person.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's look at real quick. All right. Let's see. So let's see. So this flashback is definitely a complex action. Let's call this a one stress, just to do the
Okay.
flashback.
So I'll tick off a stress.
Tick off a stress, and
Okay.
basically, so the theory here is she's gonna be kind of like unlatch the door for you. You're gonna stealth in and
Mhm.
do the thing.
Now, can there be an assist for this also? Because this is what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
Junker's the one who actually talked to her. And
Oh.
so Junker
yeah.
might be the one who convinces her to provide this aid.
Okay.
And that would be the assist. Does that make sense?
That does. If Junker is cool with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so let's do this. I want to give everybody a little scene of their own. Junker. So you're kind of standing there with Fish. We flash back to probably not long after you guys interacted with her in the first place. And she's like, well, you just want me to unlock a door for you?
Yeah, just leave the door unlocked tomorrow night. That's all you have to do.
So I mean, she kind of looks Junker up and down, and she's like, well, will I ever have to work a day for him again? Ever?
Probably not.
Excellent. She kind of just she sits there and considers for a second. Like this could she gets rid of this guy, but she may just be unemployed. That type of thing is also on her mind. Quite obviously, just by looking at her. She's like, if you could, is there a coin in this for me?
Sure.
Like that'll get me through.
Yeah, but he's also got this nephew who's a very nice person who will inherit the house if he dies. So.
Yeah, you're moving on up, if as it were. But yeah. So yeah, she kind of looks to Junker, and she's like, she kind of reaches a hand out to your arm, Junker, and she's like, "For sisterhood and for the coin." She says, "I'll let you in, but you never heard my name, right?"
All right. Well, she'll give her uh the abstinence. Like one coin is supposed to be like a briefcase full of money.
No,
kind of
one coin I think is like as a purse full of silver. So it's a lot even for her. Yeah, so it's probably more than she makes in like a long time. So
Yeah.
Well, considering she could end up unemployed, it's probably a reasonable.
Yeah, a full
but I think
a
that's
week's
enough to set her up with a house.
a week's wages. A full purse of silver pieces.
Gotcha. Yeah, if you're willing to do the coin, then she'll do the thing, and then we'll basically worry about the stealth part of the show here now. So yeah, Junker. She's like, what did we call her again? Simone.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll make Simone is now a contact of yours, a shady friend. So make a note of that somewhere. You are now sisters of the silver pouch.
Okay.
Cool. Just make a note of that. So now, yeah, so it will make your life definitely easier. It went from like desperate to risky. For your role, Fish.
Okay.
And you said you're prowling.
Prowl,
Is that your action?
Unseen. Yeah, and transverse, climb, swim, run.
Yep.
I'm not ambushing.
Cool.
But I'm sort of,
all right.
you know,
So you
metaphorically backstabbing.
you're fine. Let's see here.
How do you spell Simone?
Simone.
S-I. Okay.
You're doing fine. But yeah, so so prowl. So you have prowl. You're getting the assist from Junker, who is thankfully paid coin forward and used her kind of pull with this lady to get you a little help there. So awesome. Are you to push yourself? Do you want a devil's bargain?
Let's see. Push myself. Sorry, I always have to be reminded. Pushing myself would involve what?
Cost you 2 stress.
2 stress. I'll push myself.
Okay, spend the stress.
Okay.
And that gives you an extra die, so a total of 2 extra die. So you're 2 for prowl, 2 extra, and it'll be risky standard effect. So you can up it to like desperate great effect and get an extra die. Might as well make use of your new special ability. Plus, you get an XP off of it.
Sure, why not?
All right.
So I click great instead of standard.
You'll go desperate standard, and you'll get 1 extra
okay.
bonus die.
Oh, I have to back up. I was already going through the stuff.
Yeah.
So cancel and start over.
Yeah. So it'll be roll prowl. You'll have 1, 2, 3 bonus die, and it's risky standard.
So I'm gonna wait. Risky standard.
I'm sorry. No, desperate standard. Excuse me.
Desperate
standard.
Standard and 3 die.
3 bonus die. Yes.
All right. They're all going to be 1. Okay.
5. That's not bad.
Okay. All right.
All right. So yeah. So kind of describe to me what happens. How do you? We'll figure out what the partial success is, but describe like. Do you like scale the side of the building? Do you?
Well, she's going to let me in the door.
Well, she could have easily also unlocked a window. It's up to you.
Oh, okay.
What do you? I'll say whatever you would have preferred. This is your flashback. This is your plan, if you will, your sub plan.
All right.
So tell me what you're doing.
Well, I think I actually like the window because she's not the only servant in the room, and she can contrive to go into his into the study. This is the study where we're planting the information.
Yes.
In his chambers.
The study.
Okay. Chambers would be better. Anyway, yeah, but she's up there collecting lawn, so it's and she just slips into the study, opens the window, so I don't have to transverse the house and possible other servants in order to get in there. And these are close to get. You're saying that this is almost like brownstones, and there's a small
like row houses.
Yeah, there's like a small alleyway between
Very.
this house.
I wouldn't even call it an alleyway. This is a walkway, a crowded walkway at best.
Yeah, the sort of thing that fish can actually use the sides of to shimmy up.
Sure.
And then swing around to the ledge on the back of the building where the window to the study is, and then get in the window when she unlocks. And when fish is in there, they plant. I'm planting the idol and the rage dust. The idol is like I'm thinking it's like a trophy, and so the idol is actually going to get placed on a bookshelf where he can see it, but he's also kind of nonchalantly using it as a bookend.
Right, so he's basically you're staging it as like, what would he use it as if he had actually done this? Yes.
Yeah, and the rage dust is just to keep it easy for the blue coats. The rage dust is stuffed behind the books that the idol is the bookend for. Fish does that and then exit the way they came in.
Gotcha. All right. So it was a partial success, and it was desperate. So the question is, what are we going to hit you with? I will say, as you're kind of going out, you plant it, and you're basically on your way out. There is like a kid walking down the street, coming up from one of some little rich kid school, and absolutely sees you and starts pointing you out as you're basically jumping down or shimmening down the side of this building. And he definitely sees you. I would say we're just basically going to give you some more heat, but that if this works, if this all gets pulled off, it's going to be done away with. I don't see any way to maybe hurt you. I suppose we could, in addition to, it was again, I don't want to make a desperate roll pathetic.
You could have just had him like fall off the building.
I'll say that you're seen, so you'll get a couple heat that will be really material, but you're going to take 2 harm as you kind of, in an effort to basically get out of this kid's line of sight fast enough so that he, again, as kids do, did I really ever see that, or was that my imagination, or was that my imaginary friend? You're going to hurt yourself coming down. So I'll say leg wound, level 2 harm.
Leg wound as in bleeding, or leg wound
as in like a
sprain?
Like a bad sprain or a stress fracture or something like that.
All right.
Level 2 is not minor, but it's not, it's not a compound fracture either.
Okay.
So you can resist that, but because we use your Daredevil, you get -1 die to resist. So you tell me if you want to resist that or not.
I'll take the harm.
Okay, mark 2 harm.
Okay.
Stress fracture.
You should be able to use your armor if you want to.
Let's see. You do have a light load, which you didn't actually use anything of. So let's see. Do you have?
So I could click the 2 armor.
Yes, and then we'll bump that down to a 1.
Oh, okay. Good enough.
Okay. Thank you, Junker.
How do I mark that? Do I fill in a note under harm for one? Is that how
Yeah, under one. Just put like, let's call it sprained ankle at this point.
Okay.
All right, cool. So excellent assist, Junker. That was awesome. Good thought.
Okay.
And good roll. So yeah, basically everything is staged. There was, someone saw you coming out, but the deed was already done. Who knows which house you were in, even that kind of thing. So heat that is hopefully going to be immaterial soon, and then yeah, there you go. And then the sprained ankle trying to shimmy down with undue speed. But yeah, okay, so cool. So let's see who hasn't talked in a while. Breaker or Peacock or Junker, actually. You haven't done too much. Does anyone want to kind of lead the blue coats into the study to kind of sell this?
Yeah, I think that's Peacock.
Unless you want me to start commanding them to do things.
You're allowed to consort. Push yourself and you have one die. It's okay.
Nah, I'll leave it to the master of sway.
Gotcha. Junker,
so-
and Junker, feel free to jump in too.
As I walk in, I'm like, and this is the very place that I saw his foul wares. And I'm looking around because I've never been here before.
Well,
I look
it
around
was
and
a
like-
flashback, so you would have, so you know where the shit is
Okay.
planted, basically.
Okay. So I know it's on the bookshelf. So, I orient myself for a second. I'm like, there, that's it. The false idol evidence of his foul worship. I've heard it's been seen I've heard the symbol's been seen at a few crimes hereabouts in the city.
It's like you hear like this murmur is ghastly from the various blue coats. One guy actually, one of the I'm not sure, was it private, would it be called, or a patrolman goes up to it and grabs it, and you can see him like he's just so incensed he brings it up as if to smash it, and the captain, stop! That's evidence. So so they totally take that, and then the guy's like looking around like, what? And he's
As
like,
for the narcotics, I'm sure they're around here somewhere.
narcotics? There are no narcotics in this home, I assure you of that.
Oh, that honeyed tongue will get you somewhere with the courtesans, but not with these fine fellows.
He's just look at this like enraged disbelief on his face. He's never
Like I'm
been
sure you're
treated like
meant
this
to
before.
find the evidence that you seek.
Yeah, you'll see some blue coats cruising around, looking around. They do the whole, knocking stuff off shelves. Things are breaking. Oh, no, that's price. Oh, that whole thing. They're knocking stuff off shelves. They open up the drawer, and they see the thing, and I'll say that shark tooth. What the heck is? Help me out here.
Shark tooth.
Shark tooth. Yeah, shark tooth.
Sorry, sawtooth.
Sawtooth would have gone as far as to label it rage dust. I seem to have found rage dust, Captain. Pulls this out.
I express shock.
Oh my God!
Shut
It's even worse
the
than I expected.
horror.
Oh my God.
So he found this in a drawer?
Or wherever you put it. I assumed, I can't remember where
Okay,
you
yeah.
said.
We find
No,
books.
I just sort of like the idea that we go through all of this and it turns out he actually did have a stash. Rage dust in a drawer.
No, where did you put it? Maybe I misspoke.
I put it behind the books that the idol was being used as a bookend.
Okay, there you go. That's what he does. That's fine. But yeah, rage dust, labeled rage dust.
Rage dust.
And you see one of the guys, one of the guys does the old the thing you see in all the shows. He kind of puts his pinky in there, and he's like if you see him kind of scowl and shimmer, and he's like, that's rage dust. All right, it's good stuff. The other guy's like, what? It's real. It's real. Just it's real.
Captain
It's
looks
real,
at it
you
like, what the
moron.
fuck?
Shut up.
All right. So, yeah. So by this time, Maximilian is just incredulous. This is like, this is not happening. It's like, this is a nightmare. This is not how this works. I'm a rich person. I don't have to do this. This is not how this goes for me. Type of situation here.
So as this is happening, I think this is maybe when because I really like Fish's thing for this is, I sort of lean into the captain and I'm like, oh, I'm sure he'll pay well to get out of this mess.
And you see the captain kind of raises eyebrows. Would he now?
I'm like, I certainly, if I was, accused of such crimes, I would certainly do whatever I could to get out of it. But, without the arrest, would you really have enough, to motivate him?
So it sounds like you're trying to sway him.
Yeah, this is the
this
the close to like,
the
arrest
news.
him and take him in.
Right.
Get
All
a
right.
paper trail started so that he can bribe you to stop it from continuing.
All right.
Pretty
Cool.
much.
Does anyone want to assist, or can anyone assist? Junker, anything you have? I'd like to see you do something here.
Let's see.
If you can't, that's fine. Let's put it out there.
Sure.
Yeah, just basically, we want to sell this one home. How do we do that?
Junker just picks up like some of the pieces of the broken vase that they knocked over. Yeah, this is really expensive. And just remarks about like how like opulent the place is.
Craftsmanship.
Does she make any comment on the artifact, quote unquote? That would also help sell it, I think.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Since you built it, you're like the most qualified to like, oh, notice the lines here, or something like that.
Yeah.
Lines of eldritch lore written, scribed.
Yeah, give me just a little bit of flavor, and we'll let you off the hook, Junker. I just want you to add your bit in.
You see these like etchings on the side of this, on the side of the bust. These come from, I think, very specific period, 450 years ago.
It's real then. The captain is like just dumbfounded, and he looks toward Peacock, and this is where Peacock goes to land the killing blow.
So let's sway. What's the position?
At this point, this is like a control. We've introduced enough stuff here where this is like a controlled grate at this point. You guys have done it. You guys have each added your little bits to this, where now it's like this guy is now framed, and this is just the cherry on top of that shit
Big
sundae
frame.
this guy's about to eat, basically.
And then effect.
Effect will be great. This is the knockout punch potentially.
And then I am going to push myself, and I'm getting the bonus die from Junker.
Right.
So I gotta take the stress. Come on, no whammies.
No whammies at all. Good job.
No.
All right. Describe. Well, you rolled the final death punch there. What does the captain do at this point, Peacock?
The captain, he's like, I've seen enough, and he, points to two of the men, drag him to the station. Let's make sure all the neighbors see.
Nice. Yeah, he's that happens, and he's like, basically has irons put on the guy immediately. This guy has never been so humiliated in his entire existence. Irons are put on him. He's led out at the front of this column of bluecoats, and at the back, the captain talks to you guys. And by the time you guys get back to the precinct, he's like on the verge of giving you guys the key to the city and levels of shit like that. It's just crazy talk. You guys have played your game very well. But yeah, we will call that the score. Let's see here. Unless you guys had anything else you want to specifically do, but I think that completes the score. For the purpose of the score, we could do the ritual during free play, if that works for you guys.
Sounds good.
Fine with me.
All right.
This captain's going to be really pissed when he dies before they get their payoff.
Well, he'll still probably get some kind of citation for bringing in this horrible criminal. He looks good no matter what.
Awful man.
It's hard to look bad for him at this point.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So let's see here. All right. So that puts us right into downtime. Do you guys actually want to do like the free play first, just so we can do this ritual, or should we go?
Well, I mean, I know the ritual is going to be part of the downtime, technically.
I don't think it. Let's see here. It's not. It doesn't really come under any of that. It's not a. What do you call it? It's not you're not acquiring an asset. It's not a long-term project where we have to tick off things for this. You're not recovering, you're not reducing heat, you're not training, you're not indulging your vice. So since it doesn't come under that, it's just free play.
Okay.
So that frees up your other stuff too. So let's see here. So if you guys are cool, let's go straight into downtime, and again we'll kind of finish off with free play of the ritual, and potentially Fish's meeting with his father if he ends up pursuing that this session, if we have time, or if he wants to.
So just because I did read it, on 223, it actually says most rituals will take a downtime activity to complete.
What? But what does the commander has though?
Is that crafting a ritual or enacting?
No, it says
he's enacting.
It's talking about performing a ritual.
We don't have that many sessions left where I'm not really concerned.
I'm not concerned. I will take the free downtime action back.
Yes, and plus I just feel it's also just more appropriate under free play anyway. Obviously, if it's suddenly like you want to perform 5 rituals or something, then we start to have to look at the other thing. But it's not like you guys are abusing any of these rules or anything. So yeah, I'm cool with it. So, given that, is everybody cool with going to downtime?
Sure.
All right. All right, let's do this. Let's do it. All right. So let's see. So payoff, there is no payoff, except that you guys basically, I'll make the change here. You guys are now down to wanted level 0 with 0 heat.
All right.
That was the payoff.
Yeah, that was the payoff. So you're down to 0 heat and 0 wanted level, which is good. Heat has already been taken care of for all intents and purposes, so that's immaterial. Entanglements. Let's take a look at entanglements real quick. Entanglements. So you guys have 0 to 3 heat. So where do you want to go with that? Let's see. So who wants to roll? Who wants to roll for it, basically, for your entanglements?
I can roll an entanglement again, I guess.
Okay. So let's see. So you have 0 wanted levels, so you're going to basically be rolling 2 dice and taking the lowest of the 2.
Bless you.
Whew.
doesn't it? All right. So 2. So 2 gives us gang trouble or the usual suspects. Let's see. So let's call it this time. I think we haven't done usual suspects in a while. We did do the other one the other time. So the usual suspects, the blue coats grab someone in periphery of your crew. One player volunteers a friend or a vice purveyor or a person most likely to be taken. As the person most likely to be taken. Make a fortune roll to find out if they resist questioning.
I think it's Sawtooth.
Ooh, that makes a lot of sense actually. What do
Yeah,
you think, Junker?
Yep. Sawtooth being the one that gets picked up. So it's time to make some bribes to make sure that doesn't happen.
All right. Let's see. So you're gonna pay the blue coats off with the coin for his her behalf.
Oh yes, without
All right.
question.
All right.
Sounds good.
That's good for business. It's cost of doing business, really. All right, cool. Excellent. All right, so that pay the coin and that's solved. Let's see here. So we have that, entanglements, which brings us to downtime activities. Actually, we want to do XP probably, don't we? Let's see. Do. Yeah, yeah, we haven't done XP. So why don't we do XP real quick, and then we'll continue down to downtime activities. How's that?
It's fine.
Cool.
Sure.
All right. Junker, do you want to jump right in?
For the XP. All right. You addressed a challenge of technical skill or mayhem. I think at least 1 for that.
Sure. Sounds good. Continue.
You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. I think probably 1 for
Like for what? It sounds good, but I'm just curious.
just knowing about like the skull, like how to build the skull, and like talking to blue skull coats about it and stuff.
Oh, that's sculpture. I gotcha. Sure. Yeah, I mean, it's part of your background is tinkering. This is technically, yeah. I mean, forgery is tinkering. So yeah, cool. And that is part of your background. All right. Continue, please.
And struggle with vice or traumas, not really. No.
All right. So that's I think 2, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody want to go next? XP.
I'll go next.
Cool. Go for it. Give it to me.
Address the challenge with violence or coercion.
Did you order someone around this time? I forget.
I think it was one. I think I assisted. I kept guys off of Peacock's back when he was going to meet with Spirit Lady.
Kept him safe, right? If you want to claim one, I won't
claim one for that because the other expressed beliefs, heritage, or background. Not really. He didn't really have much to do for this one. And struggle with issues. No. So
Okay.
just 1.
Okay, sounds good. Who's next?
I'm thinking address the challenge with stealth or evasion.
Yes.
And basically, I think I did that twice. Once was when Junker and I were talking to the servant type people in that place, whatever it was, and I was basically listening in on conversation.
Sure. And the actual stealth delivery of the items.
And then the actual delivery, yeah. So I would say 2.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I didn't express my beliefs, drives, or heritage, I don't think. And I keep forgetting to struggle with my traumas. So.
It's so hard to remember to struggle with things, I understand.
Yeah. So 2, I would say.
Okay, sounds good. 2. Leaves us with Peacock.
So no desperate actions. I think I did address a variety of things with deception and influence here.
Absolutely.
So I would say 2.
Sure.
Express my beliefs. I totally went in on the fabric merchant thing and, meeting with this guy and setting him up. So I'll say 1 on that. And I don't think I did anything particularly reckless. So I'm not going to give myself any credit for that. So I'll go with 3.
Okay, sounds good. So let's see for the crew. Let's see. All right. So let's see. What's the? I keep forgetting to look up the cult crew XP trigger. Is it basically just advance the?
It's in the crew mode on the crew sheet.
Oh, okay.
Yep, crew mode has the list.
There we go. All right. Oh yeah. So we advance the agenda of the deity or embody its precepts in action. I will say 1. You did indeed. I mean, you basically by doing this, we've basically brought an asset into the fold, meaning Eva. I'll say 1. And the rest of us was covered in your own asses. Let's see. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes. Blue coats are above your station, but that wasn't huge. I'll give you 1 for that. And again, you guys can feel free to argue more or less or whatever. Bolster your crew's reputation. I don't think you really did. In fact, you basically acted as if you weren't scoundrels. So that you didn't bolster any reputation except like we went. Oh, those guys must have went straight. They're just doing living on the clear these days. Express goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature.
So actually look this one up. It turns out this one's like super. It's like, did anything happen that highlighted the specific elements that make the crew unique? So it's like, I'd say 2 with that definition, because I intentionally broad. I'd say 2 because we had everyone firing on all cylinders for the most part. We had Junker using her tinkering to build a fake item. We had our crew contact helping with this construction. We had Peacock playing them like a fiddle, Fish sneaking in and being going full lurker.
Gotcha. That works for me. So let's that's 4 at. All right. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4 works for me. Let's see here. Leaves us with, let's see. So rep. Let's see.
We got tool.
Here we go. Okay, so 2 rep per score by default. So this is, yeah, I mean, this isn't like something you kept quiet. This is pretty out in the open. So I'll say 2 rep. If the target is a higher tier, which they were, and we established that was part of the problem. So yes, I'll give you 3. I don't see any other real extenuating circumstances. So 3 seems reasonable, I think. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Excellent. All right. So that leaves us with downtime actions. Let's see. All right. So anyone have anything in mind for downtime actions that they're specifically wanting to do?
Well, I want to indulge my my vice to try and get some stress gone.
Okay.
So I just need to click indulge vice, right?
Correct.
No bonus die. I just go ahead and submit.
Yep, just a minute.
All right.
All right. All right. So mark off 2 stress.
Okay.
All right. Unless you have something else in mind, real quick, we'll go around robin.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
Chucker, what you got?
I'll indulge my vice also.
Excellent.
Gambling for a bit.
Nice, as you should. A 6. You have overindulged.
Yep.
All right, we'll worry about that next time. But you cleared all your stress, so really good job.
And you'll have XP for next time because your vice caused you issues.
Yes, exactly. So we'll figure out what that is at a later date. I want to get a little creative with that and get your thoughts on Discord and that kind of stuff. So let's do it. Let's do that. So excellent. Anyone else? Let's get a downtime action done.
I want to finish off my ritual, which I only have one thing left for, so it'll automatically finish.
Oh, sounds great. Go ahead and do that.
And do we want to take care of that on Discord
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
terms of the details?
Yeah, if that works for you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So let's see. Who are we missing? Has everyone done one action at least so far?
I'll do it my one. I'll train prowess.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So who still has actions left?
I do.
All right. What you want to do, Fish?
I want to do training and prowess.
All right. Ooh, nice. You're getting up there. Closing in. Very excellent. And you did take that your XP in prowess for the desperate action, right?
No.
Okay, do that.
So I can. Okay, cool.
All right. Cool. Let's see here. Junker or Pika? No. Yes, just Junker now, right?
Yeah, I have one as well.
Oh, go ahead. Junker or Peacock? What you like?
I also have one.
I think I can just train again on
Alright.
prowess.
Cool. Does that complete your advancement?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. You already put the tick in. Okay. I see like one left. You must have already put it in. Okay. Cool.
Who's training?
All right. And is that
And,
55.
all right? So Neocree or Peacock, you both have one left. Yes.
I'm gonna be
Yes.
training resolve.
Nice.
Train.
Mainly focusing on attunement.
Dash
Gotcha.
can only train once per downtime. Okay, so I have to train something else.
What do you want, Neocree?
I'm trying to think of what to train. I'll put we're closing in. We're almost done. I honestly don't know.
If you want to take care of it on Discord once you do come up with something, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be best.
Okay, if you could, just so I don't forget, if you could pop on our private feed that you have one downtime action left.
Sure.
Thank you. And is that everyone? Everyone does to their 2 downtimes?
Yep.
All right. Cool. So next, might as well if that completes our downtime actions, if we want to go ahead and do the ritual. I think that's potentially next.
Yeah. A good way to end it off, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
So Peacock. this is kind of your thing. I'm gonna let you take it.
So there was this. I remember this one of our adepts not really towing the line and getting us a little bit of scrutiny from the local blue coats as they revealed the location of our lair, almost led them back. And yes, my cat's chasing his tail.
Yes. I wasn't paying any attention to you.
He was. I remember that. This is the teaching a lesson. He's gonna be.
So this is the teaching the lesson part that we
it was an entanglement.
put off last session.
Right.
Yeah.
And this this individual, we'll call them Roberts it is. I give him a stern talking to of how we have to be more careful, and you definitely screwed up but Shanas is merciful, and I have just the way for you to prove your loyalty and to help our cult grow stronger.
Let's turn that frown upside down, basically.
Kind of. Like, I have made contact with a spirit, a priestess of Shanas. And if you help me, we can bring her here so that she can teach us and we can grow stronger yet. And her presence will give us great power.
Yeah, Roberts obviously falls over himself at the idea.
Like, as this is a ritual of Shanas, you may feel some discomfort.
Now, as a note, I will note that your adepts are not there's a crew advancement fanatical. So
I know, that's why I'm trying to convince him.
Exactly. So he's cool with this up until the point where he figures out what the hell is about to happen for sure, and then he's gonna lose his shit. But yes, please continue.
Well, why do you think I'm part of the ritual?
There will be some discomfort, but like all things, that discomfort will pass and the tide will recede. Are you willing to help?
Yes, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. And he kind of, pulls back his own shirt to reveal his own signet.
So
he's like,
I make a grand display of this. Like, everyone's there.
I assume this isn't taking place in your grotto downtown, down below.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's there, and I think he's laid out like on a platform in the in the water. That we have for probably like a ritual altar, there, or maybe at the water's edge. And of course, Breaker's there to assist. And I'm like, so I start out, we do some prayers, I do, I call out, I'm like, Ava, we have, high, priestess of, Shanas, we've found the one that, harmed you. We have ensured that, his vengeance will come at Shanas's hands. And we are here today to enact the ritual of the drowned man, to punish him as he deserves to be punished.
It's probably at the mentioning of the drowning man, him being an adept, he knows what the fuck that is. And that's when you see his eyes go wide. And you can see it's like he may make a run for it. He may want to make a run for it.
But when his eyes go wide, Breaker's hand just falls onto his shoulder. He just gives this. He looks at the adept and he gives a grin, and the adept sees in his eyes the spark of madness. Like, oh, he has a trauma, and his trauma isn't stable. And Breaker's like, yeah, oh, you're going for a ride.
You're going for a ride.
You will serve Shanas.
And I will ritualize, and yeah, I have a feeling there's gonna be some drowning going on.
I have a feeling there's gonna be some drowning. A little bit. Let's see here. So I just want to double check how we perform rituals. Yeah, that's the time.
Oh, I'm gonna take a trauma for it for sure, for certain.
Let's see.
That's why I didn't try and lessen my stress.
Well, why don't you, just for kicks, just to see, I'm kind of curious. Roll it. Let's do an attune roll for this.
Okay.
I mean, we already agreed with the price you pay, but this is kind of like this role represents you kind of focusing your will and your ritualism on this. I hate to force you to use it. I'm technically not supposed to tell you what to use as your action, but that's really the only action we can be using here.
What position?
We'll call this again. You're already paying some prices, so we're going to call it risky. Great.
Okay. And I'm pushing myself because this is the first time I've never used, enacted this ritual. I need to make sure it works. I'm in front of what could be the rest of my, my cult.
Absolutely. Five, not bad. All right. I will say you take an additional stress, but that really doesn't matter as far as this goes. You're definitely
that would have, even if I had cleared my stress, that would have, capped it as a trauma.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll call it even as a trauma.
Allows me to, slide into my veteran advance, which is the what was it called? Something visage.
Oh, you're going for that one. Okay.
I
believe that one's glorious visage.
Oh, that one. Gotcha. I'll also say breaker. You'll take I'll give you like a level 0 harm that you'll just heal by virtue of like sleeping. But basically you like as the ritual happens, you find yourself coughing up your own bit of water. And as this guy drowns, the same water going down his throat and into his lungs is filling yours for a significant moment. So it kind of drips out to you also the effect of this. But yes, cool. So yeah, so Mira, pick your trauma. Cool. Yeah, so this is in front of Goddess and everyone. So yes, that was for the win. So yes, what you don't see is the effect, and that's just exactly what you think it is. Somewhere right now this guy is basically making a deal with the blue coat. Maximilian's sitting there. He's actually like in the blue coat captain's office, and there's like literal packets of silver being tossed onto his desk, and he's like, I'm very sorry for any trouble I caused your precinct. Obviously, I had no part in any of these dealings, and I've been sorely framed. But what we really need to do is put this all behind us and he's basically, he basically rocks back in his seat almost to the point of rocking off of it. And the captain's like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? And as this guy starts, he starts turning blue, and then suddenly, water starts spouting out of his mouth like a literal fountain. That water that wasn't there, that shouldn't be there. And next thing you know, his eyes start bulging. Everything's blue. Water just keeps spilling out. There's like buckets full of it in the guy's office. And couple 3 minutes later of this, dude collapses. By this time, the captain has gotten some other people in there just basically to be witnesses that he didn't like brutalize or waterboard this guy to death or something in the privacy of his office. And there's like half a dozen bluecoats watching this guy's end as he basically loses. His body runs out of oxygen in his blood and rocks forward and is dead. Last bit of gurgling coming out of his throat as the last bit of water spouts out, and suddenly the whole place is quiet. One of the bluecoats throws up quietly out to the side. And that's where we'll end our session. On a high note. Always end on a high note, I say. Unless anybody has something they'd like to do.
Yeah, I think Junker at this point thinks you're all pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is a little bit further than Junker ever wanted to take this whole thing, and she's just riding the ride, and here we are. Yeah, excellent. Cool. Awesome session. I'm glad you guys got your wanted level done with. That was a pretty ingenious plan. 2 birds with 1 stone. And like I said, now Eva is your again, why don't you put Eva as Peacock, one of your like friends in low places.
Okay.
So we made some extra contacts, which is awesome. So yeah, I mean, and part of this whole, part of building your crew empire basically is broadening your network of people and contacts and assets, and you guys are doing all that. So it makes a whole lot of sense. Like, let's take a look at, just for kicks, what are we looking at with your let's see here. So likely, unless something amazing happens in the next 2 sessions, you will not be making another crew tier. Right now, basically what happens when you gained a tier, so you're now tier 1, as of last session or the session before. So you're tier 1, but your hold goes to weak. So basically now, if someone else wants to move in, they have a better opportunity to do so on like your sanctuary, or even your lair technically. But this is, you guys have some, you have the hidden lair that's kind of covered, but you get my meaning. So you're in a weaker position. So the next advance, assuming you get by the next, some 3 or more rep between now and the end of the campaign, you'll make an advance where that weak becomes strong of the same tier. So you'll still be tier 1, but now you'll have a strong hold on your assets, basically. So yeah, awesome. Any questions? Anything else?
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Well, like I said, for lack of a whole lot else to do, we'll end this early. Technically, we could go another 15 minutes if you guys wanted, but I can't. I'm not sure if I'd rather plan some stuff out to do for some free play than kind of muddle through at the moment, unless you guys had something in mind.
No, that's fine with me. It's
No.
Yeah.
That's a good way. That's a good way to end it.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Good scene to end it on.
Yep. I mean, things are coming together. You guys have paid the prices to kind of put things in play the way you want them, and it's paying off, which is cool. So good. Cool. All right, so let's end it there. Let's say bye to my wonderful players for the session. So let's go over to Steve.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Cassie Mouse.
Bye.
Dr. Oculari.
see you around.
Yeah, and oops, where's I always want to get Dr. Oculari's thing up. Cool. Excellent banner. Now he has a new Twitter thing, which is pretty cool, so check that out. And last but not least, we have Breaker. Or Neocree, rather.
Take care, everyone.
Cool. And again, this is I'm Scott of Scott's Case Files channel. If you're watching me on Twitch rather, below you'll see all the Twitter and Discord and everything links. Definitely check those out. I put Twitter stuff out when we're gonna do we're gonna do sessions. What do you call it? Discord is where we do have some discussions. As we get more people on there, discussions are going to get more broad, more broad, and that kind of thing. So check it out there. Join the Twitters, the tweets, all that good stuff. Anyway, thanks for coming. Again, this was session 8 out of 10. So we have 2 sessions left before this campaign is ended. So I'm very interested to see where the hell this is going, because it's a heck of a ride already so far. I mean, once you've ridden on the back of a wild goat that is going at batshit speeds down narrow streets, it's hard to, crescendo from there. You've already done it, but I think you guys have it in you to peak yet. Anyway, so again, thanks to my awesome players, as awesome as usual.
Goat.
Yes,
that's a big challenge.
Now we must jump the goat.
now I must jump the goat. So yes, awesome players. Thank you again, guys, again so much. Again, I think again things are going a little more smoothly. You guys are kind of getting into the rhythm here, and even with we're behind some time, unfortunately, because of my personal situation and some technical issues with Discord. Discord has suddenly changed the way it displays its cameras, so I had to move things around. So anyway, not entirely my fault, but here we are anyway. So anyway, even with the delay, we kind of got around the whole cycle. So awesome, guys! You guys have really come a whole long way. If you guys look over our session 1, you'll see how totally different this is from an efficiency standpoint. So you guys are kicking ass. So please keep kicking ass, and I will talk to you guys in Discord, and we'll see you next week. So thank you for coming, guys.
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye for now.